All right. Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 399 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada. We're recording on July 3rd, 2023.
We need your help to support Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 an episode. You can show that you're not a communist by buying a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com, our homepage, and follow the link on the right.
This takes us to my favorite segment. It's called What Are We Drinking? Also, one or more items that you've recently completed on the Patriot Challenge. So, as it's Gavin and I tonight, I will ask Gavin, what are you drinking?
I am keeping it, consistent. Consistency is key.
You're
Signal
drinking
Hill.
water.
No, I going back to Signal Hill and Diet Pepsi. That consistent, not water.
All right.
Yeah, water was just for 75 days, and it was terrible. No, the water was fine, but everything else was terrible. Things that I've done for the Patriot Challenge. Been doing a bunch of stuff around the house to do with renos and so on and so forth. Built a shed.
Built a shed.
Yeah. So, I'd call that practicing a skill because I got to use the power tools and all the things.
And you have the same number of digits you started with?
Yeah, I got all 9 fingers and 12 toes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as you started with the same number you ended up with.
Yeah, so built a shed at the side of the house. It was one of those made in China Amazon deals, so it was frustrating as all hell because the pieces that you have in real life don't look anything like the pieces in the instructions, nor do the instructions really tell you how those pieces fit together. But
probably just a translation error.
Yeah, with a little assistance here and there from one of our co-conspirators, Ian, we were able to erect this giant structure, or it's big enough to at least have Angela's e-bike fit in there and get it out of our laundry room. But yes, so
nice.
It was, practicing a skill. Yeah, still doing my readings. Almost done Term Limits, which is an excellent book. Highly recommend for those of you that hypothetically dislike government. I know it's American, but still it is entertaining.
I like it.
So,
I might have to put that on the reading list.
Yeah, it was quite good. What have you been up to, Andrew? What are you drinking?
Yes. I am drinking Player Cerveza. That's a hard R. I think it should be Playa Cerveza from Railway City Brewing Company. Shouldn't use hard R's, I suppose.
Don't do that.
Mexican style cerveza. Tastes kind of like limes and sea salt. It's made with limes and sea salt. It's like everything I like about Mexican beer, but better. I mean, although if you're going to drink Mexican beer, Modelo is probably my go-to.
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of the Modelo Negro. That one is my favorite. Because
mine as well.
Finding a dark Mexican beer is this doesn't exist because they're all some flavor of Corona, basically, like a very light lager.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's for hot tropical climates, right?
But that's what makes it stand out even more, I find. But it's also quite a tasty beer as well.
I like Modelo Negro. So I've got my beer, working on that. Started a new book. I put down the Terminal List series and I picked up another Navy SEAL book.
Excellent.
So I'm actually reading Marcus Luttrell's book right now. So I'm about 3 chapters into that, and it's pretty good. It's the Lone Survivor, the story of Operation Red Wings. So I have some criticisms of it so far. It's very raw America, Iraq evil, Afghanistan full of Taliban, all Navy SEALs are heroes, never have done any wrongs. President Bush good guy, Saddam, bad guy. And I mean, like broad strokes, I'm agreeable to some of that, but it's just like the propaganda was hot and heavy and started immediately.
Yeah, it's like I don't disagree with you, but like maybe we don't need to be at 11. Like maybe we can just tone this down a little and have a little gray area.
I don't know, man.
Just-
That's kind of my thing with it is like there is absolutely no shades of gray. There is like very
that's
black
a whole
and
other
white.
book. Yeah.
What book's that?
Apparently, there's something about 50 of them.
50 Shades of Flat Dark Earth.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's all about being in the Marines.
Baby poop brown everywhere. No. So doing that, and then I bought a bicycle, and I'm trying bicycling as my fitness thing. So I went out for an hour today and did my very best Freddie Mercury impression.
Nice.
It was upsetting for everyone around me.
Girls.
Oh, I thought he wanted to ride his bicycle. If I got the wrong.
Oh yeah, no, it's probably me that had the wrong reference there. Yeah.
Although that would clear a few things up.
Yeah.
This has been a confusing day for everyone.
Yeah, no, that is such a weird Queen song. Music video with the nude bike race is okay though.
So yeah, reading my book, riding my bicycle, enjoying Canada today, getting out and going for a hike. Went for a ruck. It was good times.
Nice. Yeah.
Did you do anything for Dominion Day?
Yes, I was helping my local community by keeping 10,000 people safe by being a human pylon and keeping roads closed and telling drunk teenagers that they can't just light things on fire and throw them in the middle of the road.
What if it's during a pride event and they're not wearing any clothes? Are you more or less allowed? I don't know if you saw, there was like videos from Toronto Pride with the amount of stuff they were cleaning up, and I'm just going to leave it at stuff.
Yeah.
I am both impressed and shocked at the amount of detritus that people in Toronto can generate.
Yeah. It's not surprising, but also it is. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Well, good job volunteering in your community and being a pylon.
Yeah. And if you're interested, you can leave us your feedback about how much crap you leave behind in your neighborhood or not. But visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. You can find the show on Stitcher and iTunes.
To address Chris in the chat, I agree. Electric bikes do not count. I got a regular old-fashioned pedal bike.
Yeah. A push bike, as the Brits would call it.
Is that what? Well, all right. Don't be a British word for cigarettes and get some exercise.
Yes. Absolutely.
If you are getting exercise, we do have a Strava club. You can come hang out. Mostly that's about hiking, rucking. It's Ragnarok on Strava. There's a link to everything in the show notes, like always. I feel like I may have planned poorly and I didn't grab my second beer, and this beer is so good I may need to go get the next one.
Well, one is none. Yeah.
Oh no, I have an extra one in the fridge. I plan to drink two. I have a third one, a spare.
Well, yeah. That's good. Yeah. Always plan ahead. Yeah. And like pace and all that, right?
Yes, primary alternate contingency emergency. That's why we have the local craft brew. That's why we have the Coors Original. That's why we have the Sleemans. That's why
we have a bottle of whiskey.
Bottles of whiskey, exactly. Because if it's real bad, that's what you call an emergency.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times. Do some news.
Yeah.
All right. So just as a reminder to everybody, despite the recent ban on the transfer of handguns, despite the Order in Council banning many, many commonly available firearms, only the police and military should definitely have guns, which takes us to Surrey. Surrey RCMP investigating target shooting at rural property. This is from the end of June 22nd. Mounties in Surrey were called to a rural property for the possible use of firearms. Police say that they believe people living at the home were target shooting guns that they legally own. RCMP responded with 20 police vehicles.
So where's the crime?
The waste of taxpayer money in sending at least 20 RCMP vehicles to go and find out some people that legally owned firearms were legally discharging their firearms.
Yeah,
I mean, on the other hand, it's also Surrey. Have you ever been to Surrey? It's kind of a shithole.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just thinking, like, do you think that the people that originally lived there just had like a really weird accent? And then say trying to say sorry instead of Surrey?
Maybe. But of all the places I've been afraid of being stabbed in British Columbia, Surrey, top 3.
Well, that's why like they stab you and then they go, Surrey.
Maybe. Quite maybe.
Oh, it looks like we might have another panelist joining us here.
Oh boy.
Maybe he can tell us all about his time target shooting in rural properties and how it's a huge, massive crime.
Trying to figure out why there's 2 of me.
Because you're so good.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
Oh, I like the echo.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, this is
and Peter's Canada Army Run shirt from last year. It's very red. It's quite noticeable.
yeah. But I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that like if they live on a rural property where target shooting or discharging a firearm in general is allowed, why the hell did they even like go to that call to begin with, unless they were just bored with nothing better to do? I mean, like, it's not like they're getting a call in the city where they're like, yeah, someone's shooting a gun where they shouldn't be. They're rural property, it's allowed.
I think the one thing with that is that if you get a phone call, the police have to respond. I don't think there's an option to, yeah, we know that person or we know it's not a problem. I think if you call, they have to go and eventually check. And I'm not saying they have good response times, and I'm not saying they're going to get around to being like there to be helpful, but also I feel like showing up with 20 police vehicles probably unnecessary given the news is even reporting the guns were legally owned, so it's not like even a questionable sort of a thing.
Yeah, like if they showed up with one person to be like, hey guys, like maybe just try to keep it down because your neighbors are complaining or whatever, it'd be one thing. But like 20 people for a rural property where
at least 20
allowed.
people, 20 vehicles.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the BC RCMP does not have those self-driving Teslas.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is just ridiculous and a massive waste of taxpayers' dollars, like as per usual. Yeah.
At least the RCMP is one of those vetted organizations that should have firearms.
Absolutely. They never lose any guns ever whatsoever. Not even one.
Peter is here. Peter looks like he's drinking. What are you drinking, Peter?
I'm drinking Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel. It is a problem.
It's like a liqueur.
Well, it's 40%.
I'm with you so far.
I mean, it sounds
tastes
good.
Like 5.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can see how that's dangerous.
Oh, sorry, I lied. It's 30%.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But yes, it's very good.
So you just make your like drinks like 1.5 ounces at least for every ounce it should be.
This is just ice.
Yeah, but instead of having an ounce, it's 1.5 ounces.
Well, I just fill it up to the top of the ice.
There you go. Good man.
Yeah.
Solid. You gotta have a recipe.
I'm trying to catch up on this story because these things.
You're not missing much.
I,
People were doing legal things and the cops showed up.
Yes. We've had similar things, not cops showing up mostly. Well, it's been like we were doing a duck and goose hunt on a field, and some lady decided that she needed to come and interrupt our hunt, which is perfectly not legal.
Yeah, I was going to say, in fact, that is generally a big no-no in a lot of places to interfere with a hunt. Yeah,
100% illegal. Yeah, but we had a short conversation, and then she drove back away on her quad, and we killed a lot of birds, and it was good. But
well, that's good. I'm glad you were able to, enjoy your hunt.
Yeah, no, mostly out here, we don't have such issues of people calling cops when they're shooting, because there's a lot of shooting.
I wish I lived in a place where there was a lot of shooting and nobody calling the cops.
Yeah.
Our range situation is not great. It's okay, but it's not great. So we make do with what we have.
which is for the
Perfectly
best.
reasonable. Yeah. I mean, if there's no, municipal bylaw prohibiting you from discharging a firearm,
There is
enjoy it.
not.
Yeah. Have at her.
I mean, we're not supposed to shoot in town.
Yeah. But that's being a responsible adult.
Yeah, I totally follow that.
Onward to more shenanigans in BC.
Why is my computer opening new tabs?
More
This is fun.
shocking stories. Yeah.
You guys remember a
No.
while ago, we talked about a man in BC that was going to open a drugstore and he was going to sell Schedule 1 products.
Like an illicit
coke,
drugstore,
crack,
not like a Shoppers
heroin,
Drug Mart.
meth. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy?
Well,
Well, sorry. What happened to the store?
well,
Where do you want to
global
start? Yeah.
news? BC man who opened store selling tested hard drug dies of overdose. Family.
Whoever would have predicted this?
I, for
So-
one, am shocked.
Yeah.
I
Never
never
saw it
know
coming.
that's what happened.
Downtown Vancouver. We talked about this. I want to say this happened earlier this year. I don't think it was last year. I want to say it was early this year. Jerry Martin was planning to open a store, and I was complaining about it, as I'm wont to do, because they were planning to sell Schedule 1 narcotics out of a retail establishment, which I don't think how it works, but this is related to the decriminalization efforts that BC has been making towards many narcotics.
Yeah, like pretty much all of them.
So there's not a lot of details. It's a follow-up, and I don't mean to belittle this guy or his family. This probably sucks for people losing a relative, but also what did we expect was going to happen here?
Well, like it was either this or he gets shot in some like horrible robbery that takes place there where everyone is trying to steal the illicit drugs.
Well, he was arrested when he tried to open the store.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
believe it went forward anyway, despite having been arrested, and he did operate a business temporarily.
Yeah. It-
Yeah.
Sucks for him and sucks for his family, but also, I told you so.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing having like a pot shop or whatever.
No, it's not.
But like hard drugs like this is definitely never going to end well.
like
No,
alcohol. Sorry.
Well, I guess this is part of the, like, I don't know, social moral dilemma is like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
And I draw the line at alcohol.
No, that's fair. And I'm not
It's all
saying I
dependent-
necessarily
it's all
agree
about
with the
culture.
pot shop, but hard drugs is definitely like it's never ends well. Like there are no
Well-
like so I just did like a little bit of cocaine and everything was fine. Like those
That's the one where there is a little bit of that, though.
well, I mean,
Just
yeah,
do a little bit of cocaine and everything's fine.
yeah, like a little bit of schneef is fine, right? Like
Don't hoover the schneef. I
But
don't know.
think it's all about culture. I think it's like where you draw the line is decided by culture, right? So
Yeah.
if the people
Yes.
think that it's something acceptable, like alcohol, then it's
Okay.
accepted.
But like, in what culture is heroin acceptable? Because I don't want to be anywhere near that culture.
I agree with you.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like slippery slope kind of an argument, one or another.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, where I draw
okay.
the line is typically like, does it affect my tax dollars? If so, then don't do it. But
I don't know. Alcohol affects your tax dollars. Lots of people get into drunk driving accidents, and I'm the one paying their hospital bills, not them.
yeah, so they shouldn't do it.
Also, our taxes would probably be higher if we didn't have alcohol tax the way it is. Alcohol taxes pay for,
Oh,
I
I know.
imagine, a good amount of stuff.
Yes,
It's a
in,
lot of tax.
in
Yeah.
Ontario, a significant. I don't know how it is for the other provinces
Yeah.
in Ontario, because
Stupid.
the Liquor Control Board of Ontario is where you can buy your liquor. The taxes are built into the sale price of the liquor, and a vast sum of money is transferred into our healthcare system from that.
But if people just had to pay for their own mistakes, that'd be so much
Which
easier. Because
I
then my
like their
alcohol would be
healthcare?
cheaper. Yeah. My alcohol would be cheaper.
I don't know. I struggle
So
with
with your
where I would draw
healthcare.
the line on this because, like, if you said like it was like, okay, alcohol is a thing that you can produce without, laboratory type environment,
Mhm.
or marijuana is a thing that grows in nature. I mean, it's only a hop, skip, and a jump to cocaine's a thing that occurs in nature, and you don't need a lab.
Well, I mean,
You
that's if you're
don't.
just
No, you
selling
don't.
coca leaves, but you do
No,
still
you
have
can
to like
refine it into
refine
cocaine.
it. Yes.
How is the refining process of cocaine any different than the distillation process of alcohol?
Well, it's not really. I mean, it
That's
is,
my
but it
point.
isn't. Yeah.
But that's
I
my
know
point. Is
nothing of
like
these things.
this is well, I've seen enough Netflix series on
Yeah.
what's
Yeah. I too
I
have
watched
watched that.
Blow.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar? Is that the cocaine
Yeah.
guy?
I
Yeah.
watched Blow once.
Speaking of though, we did watch Cocaine Bear last night, and it was hilarious and amazing.
Nothing will ever top Guy in a Buffalo.
Bear, but like they did nickname the bear Pablo Escobar.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, I mean, there is definitely some slippery slopes there, and you got to draw a line somewhere, I guess. And yeah, basically, just don't be a degen. Like that's a pretty good line.
I don't
think.
know. Well, but this is I don't know. I struggle with this because I feel like there's no amount of narcotics. It's like a good amount of narcotics, a reasonable amount of narcotics. And maybe that's difference. Maybe that's like, what would you
Yeah.
call marijuana? It's still a drug. It's not a narcotic.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is where we need some experts.
Well, since we don't have any of those, I'm willing to
Yeah.
speculate wildly.
Yeah, as we do. The alcohol helps with the wild speculations. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Is
really
it-
feel very bad for this situation in BC. And also, why are we trying to decriminalize Schedule 1 drugs?
Yeah, it is kind of interesting that like, I mean, it is somewhat debatable where
Did Gavin get high?
I thought it was me. I'm glad it's not.
I'm glad it's not also.
So anyway,
Well, why don't we move
since the
along?
expert's frozen,
We'll see if Gavin comes back. Another follow-up. Previously, we talked about this. CRA employees. Maybe if I read the article headline first. Hot take second. Article title. On Global News, CRA says 20 employees fired for claiming COVID-19 benefits while working.
have they been charged yet?
I don't know. It says that they terminated them after an internal review. It doesn't say that they were actually charged with anything.
Will they be?
I would like them to be, because the CRA is supposed to be investigating everybody that's mistakenly claimed COVID benefits. It was like, I think there was, the CRA has 600 employees who may have inappropriately received CERB benefits. 20 have been fired. CRA was at one point tasked with investigating a whole lot of false CERB claims. I don't know if they ever went anywhere with any of those, if anybody's going to be obligated to pay any of those claims back.
They have been trying to, but that's all I've heard. It announced in April it was resuming efforts to recover the money through a process it calls offsetting. So it automatically uses money from tax refunds and some benefits to settle a person's debt with the government.
Yeah, but that's not any different than what they do normally.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's I
More
think
than
they
a
were-
million notices were sent to individuals with an amount owing from overpayments during the spring.
Nice. So that million notices that
Here.
totals up to $250 million of
No, the Auditor General's office reported in December that the federal government gave 4.9 billion with a B worth of pandemic benefits to ineligible recipients, including subsidies for wages.
Yes, sorry, I'm looking at a different report than the Auditor General one. The Auditor General one is a total amount. The CRA was previously looking at using offsetting to recoup $247 million in CERB benefits specifically. Man, that's a lot of money. $5 billion worth of pandemic benefits. $5 billion worth of pandemic benefits
that were paid to people who didn't.
Oh yeah, that we're not
qualify.
eligible. That's
just those.
That is
1.4 have been repaid total.
1.4.
So call it 3.5 that we're still out.
Yeah, but don't worry. They've managed. Oh, it actually says at the bottom of this article, they've managed to get 237 million from 775,000 people through offsetting.
Yeah, and then the rest was voluntary payback. Yeah,
well, that's good. So they've gotten back almost all of the amount through offsetting that they would have been able to get. They were only shy $10 million.
That's nothing.
It's really not when it's a $5 billion amount to begin with. Also, welcome back, Gavin. How's your pigeons?
It's good. Apparently, I must have said some sort of no word or something, and the internet kicked me off. So
I don't think your math. Sorry, I don't think your math works. I think we're still down 3.5 billion.
Well, totals, yes.
Okay.
Total benefits. Specifically looking at offsetting, there was $247 million of ineligible CERB benefits that the CRA was planning to claw back through offsetting.
Gotcha.
They've managed to claw back 237 million of those, delta being 10 million. That affects about 750,000 Canadians. 1.4 billion total COVID benefits have been repaid out of the 5 billion that were incorrectly paid in the first place.
I found out where the workforce is.
I don't know if they're working very hard if they've only got 1.4 back out of their 5. That's not a great success ratio.
It. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's where our workforce is. They're all still living off the 3.5 billion that we paid for.
Well, I'm sure if we just have infinity immigration, that will solve our labor shortage.
Absolutely. 100%.
Immigration, to be fair, immigration is the only reason I have any employees right now. So I'll give it that.
I don't know. If we stopped giving out COVID benefits and also turned off the immigration faucet, I feel like your total labor pool would not change significantly.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, it would force people that don't have a job to get one.
Or not get benefits. I'm also okay with that. If we just shut the benefits off.
Mm-hmm.
Slash it.
So we could win at both ends.
Well, we could make it a 3-way win, because all those CRA employees that are currently trying, I'm sure, really, really hard to get this other $3.5 billion back, are going to quickly be out of a job when I become prime minister. So I'm sure
those people that went on strike.
I mean, those people.
All those people.
I mean, those people. So I'm sure that they could become.
You can't use that term. Labor. That's going to get you kicked off of Zoom if you keep saying those people.
I hope so.
What do you mean those people?
We could teach them to rig scaffold and move heavy objects from one job site to another.
Even just
maybe not
the same.
Maybe not this. Maybe not the scaffold part, because you want that to be competent, right? Like people need to go up and down that. But moving heavy things they can do.
I don't really care.
Well, I mean, we could.
Yeah, there's a height limit. Like, you guys can only get the first layer done. After that, that's a whole other thing.
Other way around. You get the competent guy to do the first layer. Everything else is going easy after that.
Oh, well, there you go.
You get the first layer, plumb and level and everything, and set good. Then you can build as many on your top of that as you want.
Perfect. There you go. We have a plan.
So easy, even a CRA employee could do it.
Well, I don't go that far.
I don't know. We're going to need a jobs program for when I slash all of these federal employees.
You can't do it remote, so they won't show up.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if they had to move 5 billion bricks. I bet they'd be a lot more successful at moving 5 billion bricks than they have been at recovering $5 billion.
Yeah, I know. I've been a lot closer to moving 5 billion bricks than collecting $5 billion.
Right. I'm just reasonably.
Yeah. If they move even one brick, they're closer to accomplishing that goal than they are collecting that money. So, yeah.
How is the CRA so incompetent? How is our entire federal government so incompetent?
Oh, pick me. I know.
Yeah. How much time do we have? Yeah.
About 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
Where do you want to start?
yeah. I mean, we could start with the budget will balance itself.
We could start with choosing people who've never had a job to be all of our politicians.
That too. Yeah.
We should probably not do that.
No, we should make a rule. If you have never had a actual job, you don't qualify. Like, that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Like Pierre Poilievre.
What you're saying is we need a Starship Trooper style democracy.
Not even that. Like, we're not like, I'm not even talking working for the government. I'm talking like, or, you know, being, you know, whatever, like doing any kind of service. I'm just talking about having a job, like as a very base level.
Yeah.
Like you worked at McDonald's for a year.
What if you're a substitute drama teacher? Would that qualify you for a federal job?
Did you get fired from it for undisclosed reasons?
No, you voluntarily left and had a lot of people sign non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd pass if I could. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're not the only one.
Yeah. That's gonna be a hard pass. Yeah.
Let's go on. We've got another one here in the deck. This is on the National Post. Google to block news from search other products in Canada in response to Federal Online News Act. So we talked about Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company. This week we have Google saying that they're going to pull Canadian news feeds from Google Search and other Google products.
See how long
I see this as an
lasts.
absolute win. I mean, it won't work, but like,
no, it won't.
it's a good try. This I expect will end up being like Australia, where Google will just end up being forced into a revenue sharing scheme with the news publishers.
I was listening to an interview with oh crap, I should know her name. Part of the Taxpayers Federation, Canadian Taxpayers Federation, and she was saying that the federal government has already talked about how they're going to basically subsidize the subsidies because it's Chris Sims. There we go. So the federal government's going to step up and cover basically those costs.
Of course they are.
So
Of course they are.
So
Maybe that was
instead
their
of just
scheme all along.
instead of Google and Facebook caving, we're gonna pay the news people the money that they
Because
would
they
have
already
got from
they already don't get enough government money. We need to
yeah.
Maybe that was the plan all along, just to funnel more tax dollars into another money laundering scheme of some sort.
Well, I mean, that's where they pick their cabinet members from, is the CBC. So got to keep the pool of fresh blood.
They got to stay happy, right, and employed, and be able to like build swimming pools and all of the things that they do with their money, right?
Well, and as they get caught for extortion and for giving money to their friends and things like that, and they have to be quietly resigned, they need new blood to bring in. So they have to keep the CBC funded so they can continue to raise.
And you got to keep paying the older ones to keep quiet about the things that they haven't been caught for yet.
Those NDAs don't come cheap.
No, there's a lot of lawyers for those.
Boy,
I'd tell you all about it, but I've had to sign a bunch of NDAs.
I've never signed one.
I could tell you, but I'd have to,
pay somebody a bunch of money for opening my mouth. Yeah.
No, not quite.
Yeah.
More James Bond.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've had to sign a few for work. I've got someone to sign one too, though. So it works both ways.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think
but in a professional sense, it's a little bit different though than
yeah. Mine have all been legitimate business related, not impropriety,
not
based.
risky business.
No, I am not Tom Cruise sliding across the floor in my briefs.
Not yet.
No,
that's later.
No. Yeah,
that's on the after show.
Exactly.
You need to
Just
get
$1, yeah.
specific Patreon tier for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
$20 if you don't want to see it.
We will do the Tom Cruise risky business for tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. So I think this is going to be a big old nothing burger here, much like what I think is going to happen with Meta. I think Google is going to do the same thing. The government, the government is likely going to subsidize this, which hooray, subsidies on a subsidy.
Or they'll just pay Google and Meta a sum of money of some kind.
But it just becomes some sort of a subsidy program.
Yeah.
Government giving other people my tax dollars yet again.
Yeah. Infinity subsidization, infinity immigration, infinity all of the money going out. Yeah.
The biggest issue though with C18 is all the independent media that drives their entire fiscal being from clips, from online sources. So like your Rebel News, your True North, your even your Western Standard to some extent.
If Rebel News went away, I wouldn't be terribly upset.
And I understand
have
that
a platform, but
I understand.
I would be sad about the Western Standard, though. I do like reading the Western Standard.
Yeah, and I understand that, but it's still you're still silencing the independent voices, whether we like them or not.
They have a right to be there.
Who cares? Yeah. But like that, those are the people that are actually going to hurt. The big businesses are still just going to get their subsidies from the government and be fine.
Yeah, and that's
squeezing out the small ones.
Yeah, and if we thought it was bad before with having like a narrative pushed on you, once all those other guys that are at least pushing the other narrative, which is counter to the popular one, you're not going to have anything. It's just going to be one massive echo chamber.
Thing is they with the internet they can't silence everything as much as they want to.
Yeah,
they can't.
They're trying hard. I think that they.
Yeah.
I think they missed their
whack-a-mole.
opportunity. Well, that's
just
the problem. I think they missed their opportunity about 15 or 20 years ago. Unless you end up with like some sort of Iranian or Chinese state-sponsored internet service provider that they can turn parts of the internet off and on, access to parts of the internet off and on. I don't think we're going to see.
There's still ways around even that, though.
There are, but they become vastly more complicated.
And I think
VPNs only work so well.
I think in order to do that, they'd have to have the US on board.
I'm not sure about infrastructure at that level. I think our primary internet backbone is small enough that if the government wanted to federalize or control it, that they would be able to get Rogers and Bell, Telus on board and lock it down at a fairly federal level. And I don't think you would have to involve the US very much for that.
Yeah. Wonder what they would do. Probably nothing.
I don't know. But the other thing is, like, we've talked about Solzhenitsyn before on the show. This is the whole Pravda piece, right? We know they're lying. They know they're lying. We know they know they're lying.
Live not by lies.
But they're still lying.
We still have to stand there clapping.
No.
Because if we don't clap loud enough and long enough, straight to gulag.
Straight to gulag.
And then we've got to lay bricks. And then Peter's going to yell at us because we're not doing it properly.
I will pay you for me to yell at you. I'll pay you money so I can yell at you all day for not laying enough bricks. I'll do that without the gulag.
I'm sure there's some people on the internet that would be all into that. Yeah.
No kink shaming.
Yeah.
No, all the kink shaming, please. Shame all the kinks.
I mean, that's true. Pride Month is over.
Yeah.
What Pride Month? I missed it. There was no rainbow flags anywhere.
It's
the same as Men's Mental Health Month.
No. Did you notice this year how there was almost no pride flags on any of the major businesses?
Significantly fewer. Significantly fewer.
That's because
there was definitely some businesses that caught some flack for removing them.
Just one.
Yeah, but
one major one.
How much do you want to believe Pravda when they say that there was major people? There were so many people were upset. They interviewed many dozens of people that were upset.
I mean, I believe it about as much as I believe anything they print.
Right.
Well,
That's
we're
what
also talking about Starbucks employees.
Yeah.
well, those are hardly even people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a gender studies major, are you even a person?
I mean, there's probably like a sliding
Oh.
scale, but I would say it's definitely to the bottom end.
Did you guys see the story this week about the stabbing at University of Waterloo?
I did.
I did
Um,
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have the article pulled up. Maybe
Working
Gavin
on
can
it.
find, or somebody can find it quick, but I'll talk about it.
A senseless act of hate, according to the CBC.
Yes.
Boy.
So
Oh, in a gender
Read
studies
about the
class.
guy.
Okay.
pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in gender studies class. So this guy graduated from U of W, University of Waterloo, that is, I believe 2 years ago. I could be wrong, it could be one. So you're talking about the top engineering school in all of Canada. I don't think that's a debated
Yep.
topic. I think everybody kind of
Yeah.
agrees.
I would say that's,
They're-
Waterloo is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Sorry, McMaster.
And he had some sort of engineering degree. I can't remember which one. And at the time of the attack, he was working at Tim Hortons. That's how much our degrees are worth now. So go to trade school. Also, don't stab people. Just make fun of them on the internet.
I mean, I prefer
That's
to make fun on the internet, but
Yeah, I mean, we've made like I don't want to say a successful career out of it because we don't really get paid for this, but like we're like 399 episodes into being successful at making fun of people on the internet.
do
Did I
something you
seriously
love. You'll
tune in
never
for
work a day in your
$3.99 and
life.
not 400? Like,
Yeah.
did I miss it by that much?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. So that's all right. Let's just do the same thing next week. You're
Nope.
good.
That's fine.
I'm on vacation with my wife.
So she can join too. She can be on episode 400 and be
Yeah, she did
immortalized.
that.
It's a good time.
I don't know.
It
about
is.
We
this.
forced
I
all of our
agree.
significant others to be on at one point or another.
This is true.
I am unconvinced about the quality of this story. I'm reading through the CBC, not to distract from talking about our significant others, because I would never want to do that. But like, I'm not buying what they're selling here.
Wait. Are you saying that the CBC doesn't write quality, informative, truthful articles?
Yeah. The individual charged is Giovanni Villaba Ailman, hyphenated last name, never a good sign. And Waterloo Region Police are saying this is a hate-motivated incident related to gender expression and gender identity. They allege that this is because it happened during Pride Month. 3 counts aggravated assault, 4 counts assault with a weapon, 2 counts possession of a weapon for dangerous purpose, mischief under 5K. Also, there were 40 students in the classroom. I appreciate the breakdown by the CBC. So this is a gender studies class at University of Waterloo. 40 students in the classroom, a 38-year-old female professor from Kitchener, a 20-year-old female, and a 19-year-old male, both injured. For being this being based on their gender identities, he certainly picked the binary options here.
Well, I mean, for you to be non-binary, there needs to be a binary thing.
And again, not
exist,
trying to make light of this. I'm sure this is awful for the people who got assaulted, stabbed.
And
I think
those that had to watch it. I mean, seeing that in person,
I'm
would
sure
not
that
be
is
fun.
but like, really, he attacked a gender studies classroom to stab people, and he managed to stab 2 women and a dude. He didn't stab any they thems or he hers or she theys or
it was a little weird.
or I like the success ratio here on it being hate motivated is rapidly approaching 0.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. This whole notion of hate crimes is a little ridiculous. Either it's a crime or it's not a crime. Like, does it really matter what the motivation is? Like, if you punch somebody in the face, is it 10 times worse because you dislike them because of something stupid, or like, does it really matter?
I'm going to say motivation matters, but
well, in terms of preventative, sure.
Yes, and I think that's where I'm going with this. And Gavin and I maybe have been doing this long enough that we know the same things or think the same thoughts.
We're effectively just the same person
We're
in two
basically the
bodies.
same
Yeah.
person. So I can unlock his iPhone. It's very disconcerting.
Yeah.
But if this is a hate motivated attack, that doesn't make it worse than if it was not a hate motivated attack. But
Yeah.
I question the CBC's official narrative on this. I know I'm wondering if Pravda is telling me the truth. 40 people in the class, and he stabbed two women and a dude. He didn't stab any other genders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he happened to do it at the end of Pride Month. And he's like, I don't know. When they said he was an international student at Waterloo, I expected him to look a lot more diverse than he does.
Yeah.
Like I was figuring we had like a Gamil Garb situation, but
One would think, yeah. But
yeah. Can't find. I don't know.
I'm just surprised that it was a stabbing.
Why?
I don't know. I just figured that, like, you know, everyone's just into shootings and stuff like that, right? Like, who does stabbings anymore?
he probably couldn't get a gun.
But aren't
Didn't
they
have a
just like,
pal.
aren't they just everywhere?
Well, even if he had a pal, I guess he couldn't buy a handgun, right? Because those are big.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
now I'm more confused. This,
Yeah.
hang on, this is from the New York Post on the same story. The class is listed as being taught by Katie Fulfer, who uses she, her, as well as they, them for both. She got 4 pronouns, but at least one of the witnesses, K-Mac, referred to the attacked educator as being a man. However, this witness also recalled seeing an injured male student, and police said only one of the 3 hurt was male. So who? What? I'm so confused.
I am unclear about that, but
Yeah.
the file photo for the professor, I would say that looks like a lady.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess you can't judge a professor by its cover these days.
it's true.
Or is that only shop class teachers?
And are they still professors, or they have a different name?
Technically, no.
Yeah.
That's like a different honorific, but
Yeah. I don't know. One of them is definitely full of hot air. That's for sure.
definitely. Anyway, it's been a weird June, and weird things are being followed up on.
Always a weird June.
I mean, it tends to be.
Yeah.
It tends to be. Well, we should go around. Peter, when you're not doing the show, which is most of the time, where can everyone find you?
At work.
Perfect.
Honestly, that's pretty much all I'm doing these days. I don't have any socials anymore. Well, I guess I haven't deleted my accounts, but they're off my phone because they're stupid and waste my time. And
That's
they all
fair.
want to show me other women's boobs other than my wife, so I ignore them.
I mean, I'm not a discriminator of boobs.
Yeah.
That's why Peter's a solid stand-up guy.
I'm
If anyone's sending you boobs
I'm
that you
tired
don't
from
want
all
to
the work.
have, if you want to like forward them along,
Yeah.
so you don't have to look at them.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can get my own. That's okay now.
Yeah, it's true. You could.
So if you're just a fan of boobs, like we could
Yeah.
fire up that Patreon account.
All right. Could work on that.
Yeah,
Gavin,
Andrew, $20 if you want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, give Andrew $20, show Andrew some boobs, whatever.
Yeah. Give him $20 and show him some boobs. There you go.
Now we're
Hey,
talking.
dream big. Dream
Happy
big.
July to me.
Yeah.
Gavin, where can everybody find you?
The best place to find me for now is Instagram, UrbexGTA.
If you've listened to the show this long, you deserve a discount code. When you're shopping at Ragnarok Tactical, use the discount code Patriot at checkout. Save yourself some money on shipping. We appreciate your feedback. You can email us feedback@canadianpatriotpodcast.com. Let us know which articles we need to follow up on that you're sad we haven't touched, closed that loop, circled those wagons somewhere around some sort of an expression.
Yeah, that or just feedback at CanadianPatriot.com. Send your boob pictures to Andrew. He'll get them there for sure.
Also, if you want to, that'd be fine. I have to apologize to Rod Giltaca. We couldn't get Rod on the show today because we are recapping old news. Rod wasn't a good candidate for that. He only wants to talk about the hot new things, not the old broke things.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind all of our listeners out there in podcast land that you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable views.